Hello, my friends. Welcome to the Summer 2025 Mastermind. I'm really excited to mastermind with you. Thanks for joining us. You might be asking, what's a mastermind? Oh, very good question. A mastermind is a time that like-minded people come together to master something together, master content. So what we're going to do is actually kind of going to be like a book club on steroids, because we're going to master the new book, Winners Are Quitters, The Art of Thinking Differently. Have you bought your book yet? If you haven't bought the book, definitely go to the show notes and click on the link to purchase your book, because every week we're going to have a different assignment, a different number of chapters to read. And when I come back together with you, I'm going to dig into the content even a little deeper. We're going to maybe even ask some questions that aren't in the book to help relate and apply the content to your life. So thank you for joining us. I hope that you come back every single week and even go back and listen to the old episodes if you missed any. I'm excited to learn and grow with you. Welcome back. Today we're going to mastermind chapter 9 of Winners Are Quitters. This is the last chapter in the book. This is the last mastermind session. So congratulations to you. You have successfully completed a whole book, read a whole book this year. Write that one down in your journal. Chapter 9, kind of short and sweet with a few images. I like pictures. The title of this chapter is Who Do You Want to Be? Who do you want to be? Have you ever thought of this question? Who do you want to be? Okay, I have 6 questions for you today. So question number 1, are you currently doing something because it aligns with your identity or because it checks a box? You know, maybe it's volunteering, maybe you work for a certain organization, whatever it is. Are you currently doing something because it checks a box? Is that enough for you? Is that okay? It's okay, as long as you recognize that. You're okay with that. But sometimes it's not okay. If that's all it is to check a box, is it really fulfilling? So, think about it. Even make a list. What are the things that you do? Not only what you do for work, but what you do for your family. Maybe it is being the wife, being a mom, being a caregiver, being a chauffeur, get that resume list going of all that you do. Maybe it is something more volunteering. What do you do? Is it to check a box, or is there more to it? Okay, question number 2. In your past, what past decision have you made to quit and it led you to more clarity about your being? In the whole book, I talk about a major event in my life, a career that I quit that really brought clarity and enlightened me and truly who I wanted to be. So what is it for you? Is there something that you quit and it led you to that clarity? Sometimes we quit things and we don't think about the value of quitting. So maybe it's something you quit in your past, and now as you think back, you can see and you can realize the clarity that it did give you, even if it gives you clarity today. Something for me, I quit the career of aviation. I quit being a pilot over 30 years ago. I was 17 years old when I quit. And I had so many revelations and learning lessons when I wrote the book a year ago. You'd think that I would have thought through this stuff a long time ago, but I didn't, because I was embarrassed that I quit. I didn't want to talk about it. I couldn't process it. I was partly just young. I couldn't process it. I remember one day sitting in the registrar's office at college. So I went to University of Dubuque in Iowa, which is an aviation school. I actually have an aviation minor, aviation management minor. But I was in the registrar's office. I was, I don't know, first semester was maybe over. So it was midway through my freshman year. And another, freshman was standing next to me, a friend. We partied together. And he looked at me, he says, "Hey, I heard something about you the other day." Oh, great. Can't wait to hear what this is. He's like, "I heard that you flew airplanes." He was a pilot. He was in the aviation track as well. And I'm like, yep, I did. And I wanted to get out of there. I wanted to fly away because I just didn't want to have that conversation. He did. He wanted to kind of lean into it a little bit. I'm like, yep, I'm done. See ya. Have a good day. 30 years later, while I was writing the book, I really was able to better define this clarity. I was better able to define how my brain was working. And it was really healthy. It was really healing. So think back on the things that you quit. What's the clarity that it brought to you? Okay, question number 3. When you're faced with a tough situation, how can you apply the ThinkDiff model? By the way, if you're watching a video, it's over my right shoulder. The model is right here on the screen. If you're not, if you're only listening to the audio, you can flip all the way to the very back of the book, because on page, right after chapter 9, page 65, is the ThinkDiff model. Okay, so when you're faced with a tough situation, how can you apply that model, the ThinkDiff model, to move from emotional reactions to empowered actions? I mean, this is serious, because I know for me many times my reaction is emotional. My emotions get the best of me and I just knee-jerk reaction. I mean, I did it when I was 16 years old when Jeff asked me why I want to be a pilot. So how can you use this model to move you out of the emotions and move you more into that empowered action? Now, a few reminders. The ThinkDiff model is not a tool to use quickly. It is not something that you can have so memorized that you're in the moment thinking, okay, I'm going to push and the be and the do and boom, I'm done. I'm off to the next. You can't. You can't. It is something that you do have to give yourself permission to just step away and process. And sometimes you need to sit and spin. You need to spin through the push. You need to spin through your toxic thoughts to help process it through. So don't rush the process. Use the tool. Use the tool so that when you experience that tough situation again, you're better prepared. Or at least you can backtrack a little bit, like I did in chapter 8, my relationship with my husband, backtracked a little bit and said, okay, hold on, let's back up. Is this really what we want? Is this really who we want to be? Use the tool. All right, question number 4. Are you, by the way, are you writing down your answers to these questions, or at least writing down the questions? Do you have a notebook? I know one listener admitted to me she does not have a notebook because she's on her bike when she's listening. Thanks for listening, Mom. But in the future, I'll dig out these episodes and take time to write it out, because I know for me, just thinking my answers really doesn't work. It's when I write that my brain sees it on paper that I can really process it through. So take time. Okay, next question here. I think I said number 4. What identity would empower you to reach your goal? Isn't that an interesting question? What identity would empower you to reach your next goal? In other words, who do you want to be? Maybe you want to be curious. Maybe you want to be consistent. Maybe you want to be a troubleshooter or a problem solver. Maybe those beings would help you reach your next goal. So what about you? What's your identity that you want to focus on to reach your goals? All right, question number 5. I've only got 6 questions, so this is the second to last question, okay? Question number 5, who do you want to be? Not what do you want to do, not what do you want to have, but who do you want to be? Who do you want to become? Major question of the whole book. It's a major piece of the ThinkDiff model. Make sure you take time to think about it. Maybe it's who you want to be in a certain situation, in a one-off situation. Like, who do you want to be when you're driving your car? Who do you want to be when you're talking to this person? Who do you want to be as you finish this project? Or maybe it's bigger. Who do you want to be as a value statement of who you are, who's the depth of you? Whatever you want, however you want to take it, who do you want to be? And then my final question that I have for you today is, who are you? If there's a gap between who you are and who you want to be, well, this is where you start in your growth journey. This is where you focus to grow and get closer to who you want to be. You know, there's a lot of universal laws in our world. I think we all can relate to the law of gravity. We know what gravity is. There's also a law of polarity. Polarity is that there's an opposite for everything. If there's a left, there's a right. If there's an up, there's a down. If there's a black, there's a white. Well, remember then, if we're going to go in the law with the law of polarity, if you're not growing, you're dying. So my friends, focus on growth. Focus on growth. Thank you for joining me every week for this mastermind. I hope that the book and the mastermind truly has challenged you to think differently about your choices. We do. We have choices. Even in our thoughts, we have choices. So a few assignments for you. First of all, please follow me, subscribe to my channels, share it with your friends, and start your own mastermind on this book with your friends. You just read the whole book. You just went through the mastermind. I just gave you all these questions and videos that you can rewatch. Start a book club or a mastermind with your friends and see what an in-person discussion can do to just expand on these concepts. And remember that if you need any more worksheets to process through the ThinkDiff model, visit winnersarequitters.com and you can download and print as many as you want. My friends, I give you permission. I give you permission, if you need it, to quit for one, and also to think differently, and to take charge of your success. My friends, be great today. We'll see you next time. I hope this topic has challenged you to think differently as you strive to grow from success to world class. Please follow this podcast, share it with your friends, and follow me and Unity Consulting on all social platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, and our website, unityconsultingllc.com. I look forward to connecting with you next time to challenge your habits so that you are more efficient and fully empowered.